Morning folks, welcome to a Queensland OCC Daily Weather App. Today, the 7th of Feb 2023. My name's Chris Nitzo. This update brought to you by our major sponsor, TownsvilleSheds.com. Check them out if you're in the market for a shed-safe, accredited shed. Alright, we've got a bit of shower and storm activity up through the Cape York Peninsula, more shower activity rather than storm activity. Widespread convective development already this morning, and some decayed convective development from overnight last night across Western Queensland. Another big day of rain and storms out there for them, and you can see some isolated showers and thunderstorms potentially developing over the next hour or so in the central inland parts of the state. A few showers around central east and northeast Queensland. Lots of showers as we progress eastwards through the Coral Sea. And right up here on the northeastern edge of your screen, there's a tropical low developing to the southwest of the Solomon Islands. Thanks to Meteorologics.com. Let's have a look at what the ensemble members are suggesting is going to happen with this low. Right, so the idea is today the system's going to be tracking in a southwesterly direction. Tuesday 10 p.m, Wednesday 4 a.m, still southwest. Wednesday 10 a.m, still southwest. Through Wednesday, it's going to start to develop a more southerly motion. So you can see there a bit more south-southwest to southerly as we get into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. You can see there's quite a large envelope of where the models believe it'll be on Thursday morning at 4 a.m. So you can see this large area of where the cyclone's expected to be at that stage. And it's as strong as a Category 2 system, more than likely a Category 1 system early Thursday by the looks of that. Once again, the furthest west the outliers have got this is around about 300 to 400 k's off the coastline, so no sign of the system hitting the coast. Through Thursday, the system is adopting a southerly track, and then towards the end of Thursday, you'll notice the system intensifying, likely into a Category 2 towards the end of Thursday and pushing towards the southeast, parallel to the coast, and eventually on Friday, the system is pushing further and further away from the coastline in a southeasterly direction, and likely intensifying as well into a Category 3, maybe even the lower end of a Category 4 in some of the guidance, but most likely a Category 3 at this stage. Look, there's no doubt that the system's not going to hit the coast. The variability in the forecast lies in how close to the coast does it get. For example here, this is the difference between, say, the European model, which has the system a little bit further to the east, and we can see that we're getting winds up to around about 30 to 40 knots, gusting at one stage or another over the next 5 days, up to 30 to 40 knots in the offshore islands. And you can see on the mainland, those wind gusts are dropping down to about 25 to 35 knots, so nothing to worry about there. The Bureau of Meteorology's model is the one that's probably the most violent in terms of its westerly motion, and you can see here that it's creating wind gusts up around 35 to 40 knots on the coastline. So just a slight increase in those winds that are affecting the coast, and you can see generally those winds just in the offshore islands getting up to 45 to 50 knots there on the Bureau of Meteorology's model. It's the most western outlying model in the model envelope. So the idea is that most of the guidance is suggesting more towards what the Euro and the GFS are suggesting, where those really strong winds are going to remain well offshore, and we're certainly not going to get any of the destructive and damaging winds of the system as it pushes away to the southeast. If you take a look at the wind field across the coastal waters of Queensland, we can see that our strongest winds develop probably around Wednesday night into Thursday, and then continue to shift southwards with the cyclone as it pushes south-southeast parallel to the coast through Thursday into early Friday, and then those strong winds will abate as we progress into the end of Friday, and you can see by Saturday we've dropped our winds right down. And once again, maximum sustained winds at around that 25 to 30 knots along that central Queensland coast, which means gusts are probably going to get up to as high as about 40 knots through parts of the coastal and offshore waters. And we're certainly not interested in this cyclone providing us with much rainfall. We can see that any significant shower activity expected to be on the Mackay coastline or northwards. You can see some good rainfall developing throughout the week across inland Queensland and western Queensland, with lots of showers and storms out there. But in terms of heavy rain associated with the cyclone itself, that's all going to stay offshore. Don't forget, if you'd like more information on anything we talked about today with a lot more depth and detail, head over to join.ozcyclonechasers.com.au. Check out our subscription options. That's also where we deep dive into the science about why we're very confident about where this thing's going and why we're not stressing out or getting ready for a chase. All right, let's have a look here. Today, widespread convective development across Western Queensland is expected, with lots of rain in between the convective cells. We're also expecting to see some heavy rainfall from showers and thunderstorms through, a little bit more isolated, isolated. Parts of the Western Cape and the Gulf Country, we're also expecting to see scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms across Cape York Peninsula. Quite a few showers around the East Queensland coastline, around about areas north of Yeppoon, and potentially some isolated showers also through the eastern interior. Today, as we progress into tomorrow, the expectation is quite a few showers around northeast Queensland, maybe a little bit enhanced up around the Cooktown to Cape Melville coast. Once again, widespread convective development expected across western Queensland. A little bit of isolated shower and isolated thunderstorm, maybe even a bit of light patchy rain extending down into southern inland Queensland. And you can see once again a few showers on the coastline north of Yeppoon, and obviously the heavy rain associated with our cyclone way out there in the eastern Coral Sea. Our thunderstorm steering winds in inland Queensland are very weak through most of inland Queensland, with exception of a couple down here in southern inland Queensland, but most of inland Queensland's storm steering winds are very weak, and that means that if you do get a storm today, along with the fact that there's so much moisture in the atmosphere across here, look at that almost saturated moisture profile, that you're going to get some very heavy rain from showers and thunderstorms. But just like always, showers and thunderstorms are always going to be patchy, and there will be people that miss out. Be aware if you're travelling on any roads out in Western Queensland that flash flood is a real threat today with any showers and thunderstorms that do occur. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk again tomorrow.